The mind is a curious thing. The way it interacts with and processes our surroundings impacts everything we do. When it comes to news consumption, it also affects the ways that we process information. Media bias is often a natural byproduct of misinterpretations and misunderstandings that affect the mind's ability to critically decipher facts and information and can lead us to false conclusions. Media bias is present in virtually all reporters, journalists, and news outlets. According to the Metropolitan Community College, media bias occurs when journalists of news organizations allow their own opinions to affect the news that they report and the way that they report it. Media bias prevalence leads to distrust in its consumption. In a poll conducted by the Knight Foundation, nearly half of Americans think that the media as a whole is very biased, and 57% of the group think that their chosen news sources are also biased. Additionally, approximately 69% are concerned about such bias. This distrust doesn't mean that Americans don't want the media, but rather that media bias is regarded as the status quo. How this impacts the mind and preconceived notions is important to consider. Gallup Knight's 2018 study found that party affiliation is the key predictor for how Americans view the media. Political division along party lines affects the mind's ability to objectively consume news and leads to further media bias. According to the Pew Research Center, Americans demonstrated a clear preference to consume their news media from screens. Virtual consumption allows for mass direct consumption of media. The sheer quantity of false or misinformation makes it difficult to navigate, let alone give the mind an accurate way to decipher news media in an objective manner. This creates cognitive bias. According to a medically reviewed article written by author Kendra Cherry on Very Well Mind, cognitive bias is a systematic error in thinking that occurs when people are processing and interpreting information in the world around them and affects the decisions and judgments that they make. Factors such as emotions, individual motivations, limitations on the mind, excessive surrounding stimuli, and social pressure can contribute to cognitive bias. To help counter these problems, the brain will take shortcuts to make decisions more effectively. These shortcuts, referred to as heuristics, can help people sometimes make more accurate and quicker decisions, but it can also lead to errors in thinking patterns and deciphering truth. The impact that cognitive bias has on media consumption makes it more difficult to remain objective. It can lead to distorted versions of a media story and make you more susceptible to things like conspiracy theories or anything the media outlet may share with you. The attachment to preferred media sources can further lead to cognitive blind spots, furthering narrow viewpoints and perceived notions. Confirmation bias and the bandwagon effect contribute to beliefs people have when someone is sharing news they align with or whose bias they share. Our minds are great at playing tricks like these on us. By better understanding how our minds receive and process media, we can more effectively try to counter them. Knowing why and how we came to obtain a certain bias will make it easier for us to address them and seek out more objective stances on issues portrayed by the media. Please visit Biasly's website for more information and check out our ratings for hundreds of other media sources.